Something was quietly removed from your life, Archangel Michael explains. Don't scroll, please don't scroll, listen to this, because if these words are reaching you right now, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now more than you may even realize. Something was quietly removed from your life, and no one explained it to you, no closure, no clear reason, just a sudden shift, a silence, a space where something used to be, and you've been replaying it in your mind late at night, wondering what you did wrong, wondering why it had to happen this way, but listen to this message is for you. It wasn't taken from you to punish you, it was removed to protect you, and that truth is about to settle into your spirit in a way that finally brings peace. Don't scroll, stay with me, because what you're feeling right now isn't confusion, it's awakening. You may have felt a strange mix of sadness and relief, like part of you knew this ending was necessary even though your heart wasn't ready to say goodbye, and that inner conflict has been heavy, but listen to this, your heart needs this right now. The universe does not remove things randomly, and what left your life could not follow you into the next chapter you're stepping into. There was an unseen path you were headed toward, one that looked familiar and comfortable, but slowly, quietly, it would have drained your joy, your confidence, your sense of self, and because you didn't walk away fast enough, divine protection stepped in gently, without chaos, without warning, and simply moved it out of your way. Don't scroll, this is important, because you weren't weak for holding on, you were human, and the fact that it had to be removed quietly tells you how deeply you were attached, how much you hoped it would work, how much love or effort you poured in, but listen to this message is for you. Not everything you love is meant to stay, and not everything that leaves is a loss. What was removed was blocking your alignment, and your soul had already outgrown it even if your mind was still negotiating with the past. You may have noticed signs lately, little ones at first, numbers repeating like 1111 when you're deep in thought, 222 when you're questioning your choices, 555 when everything feels like it's changing too fast, and you brush them off. But don't scroll. Listen to this, those weren't coincidences, those were confirmations, reminders that you are being guided even when the road feels quiet and uncertain. Your sleep may have changed, your dreams more vivid, old memories resurfacing out of nowhere, waves of emotion hitting you without warning, and you thought something was wrong with you, but listen to this, your heart needs this right now. Nothing is wrong, you're waking up. A spiritual awakening doesn't always come as light and love at first, sometimes it comes as loss, as endings, as things falling apart so you can finally see what was holding you back. Don't scroll, because here's the part most people never tell you, what was removed wasn't just about what you lost, it was about what you're being prepared to receive. There is a soulmate-level connection written into your path, and no, not just romance, but someone who sees you, understands you, meets you at your depth, and that connection couldn't arrive while old energy still had access to you. You didn't miss them, you weren't late, and you weren't forgotten, you were being cleared, refined, and protected. Listen to this message is for you. The delay was intentional, because the love meant for you needs you healed, aware, and grounded, not depleted or doubting your worth. And if you've been feeling more sensitive lately, more emotional, more reflective, that's because you're in between timelines, grieving what could have been while standing on the edge of what's coming, and that space feels uncomfortable, but it's sacred. Don't scroll, stay here, because I need you to hear this. You were not abandoned, you were redirected. The silence you felt wasn't rejection, it was alignment. The door that closed didn't slam, it gently shut because force wasn't necessary anymore, your soul was already leaning toward freedom. You may still miss what left, miss the idea of it, the potential, the version you hoped it would become, and that's okay, but listen to this, your heart needs this right now. Missing something doesn't mean it was right for you, it just means you cared. And caring deeply is not a flaw, it's a strength, one that will be honored in the next chapter of your life. Don't scroll, because this next part is crucial. The universe has been watching how you respond to endings, how you handle disappointment, how you speak to yourself when things don't work out, and you passed a test you didn't even know you were taking. You didn't harden your heart, you didn't lose your faith completely, you kept going even when answers didn't come, and that resilience is why protection surrounds you now. If you felt an invisible shield lately, like things that should have gone wrong somehow didn't, like near misses, sudden changes of plans, or gut feelings that saved you time, energy, or pain, don't ignore that. Listen to this, this message is for you. You are being watched over more closely than you realize. And the reason this removal happened quietly is because the next arrival will also come softly at first, not with chaos, not with fireworks, but with peace, familiarity, and a sense of coming home. Don't scroll, because you're closer than you think. The space that feels empty right now is not meant to stay empty, it's being held open intentionally. Something new is moving toward you, slowly, deliberately, and divinely timed, and when it arrives, you'll look back at this moment and finally understand why things had to fall apart the way they did. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. Trust what you're feeling, trust the signs, trust the pauses, because this chapter isn't about loss, it's about alignment, and this is only part one of a much bigger story unfolding in your life. Something was quietly removed from your life. Part 2, Archangel Michael continues. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you stayed for part 2, that alone is a sign, and this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now more than ever. What was quietly removed didn't just leave an absence. It activated something inside you, something ancient, something aware, something that had been sleeping while you were surviving instead of living, and you may not have words for it yet, but you feel it, that subtle shift in how you see people, how you sense energy, how certain conversations suddenly feel draining and certain silences feel holy. Listen to this, this message is for you. When something is removed without explanation, it's because your soul already understood the lesson and no longer needed the experience to continue teaching you. You were repeating a cycle you had outgrown, and the universe, in its quiet mercy, stepped in before it turned into regret. Don't scroll, stay with me, because the confusion you felt afterward wasn't loss, it was recalibration. Your nervous system, your spirit, even your body had to relearn what safety feels like without chaos, because for a long time you mistook intensity for connection and effort for love. And listen to this, your heart needs this right now. What's meant for you will never require you to abandon yourself. That realization alone is why things had to change. You may have noticed that after the removal, your intuition got louder, harder to ignore, almost inconvenient at times, nudging you away from places, people, and decisions that once felt normal. That's not anxiety, don't let anyone tell you that, that's discernment waking up. Don't scroll, because here's the part that matters. Once discernment activates, you can't go back to pretending. You start seeing through half-truths, mixed signals, empty promises, and that clarity can feel lonely at first, because fewer people can meet you where you are now, but listen to this, this message is for you. Loneliness is not a punishment, it's a pause before alignment. And in that pause, the universe starts rearranging things behind the scenes in ways you can't yet see. You may have been asking, quietly or out loud, what's next? Who's coming? Why does it feel like I'm in between? Don't scroll, because this answer is important. You're in the hallway between doors, and the reason it feels uncomfortable is because you're not meant to stay there long. The old door closed because you finally learned what you needed to learn, and the new door hasn't opened yet because what's coming needs to meet a stronger, clearer, more self-trusting version of you. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. The waiting is not wasted time, it's preparation. You're being tuned emotionally and spiritually so that when the next connection enters your life, yes, the soulmate level connection your spirit has been sensing, you won't shrink, chase, overgive, or question your worth. This person, this energy, this alignment is different. It feels calm, mutual, and grounded, not dramatic or confusing. And the reason it hasn't rushed in yet is because it respects your healing. Don't scroll, because I need you to hear this clearly. What left your life created a vacuum, and nature hates a vacuum, so something must fill it, but only after the space is fully cleared. That's why you've been feeling emotional waves lately, moments of peace followed by sudden heaviness, random tears, unexpected nostalgia. That's energy releasing. That's your system letting go of attachments it held onto for survival. Listen to this message is for you. Healing is not linear, and you're not moving backward just because you had a hard day. You're purging what no longer belongs. And yes, the universe has been speaking to you constantly through signs, through numbers that repeat when you doubt yourself, through interruptions that saved you from saying yes to the wrong thing, through delays that frustrated you but quietly protected you. Don't scroll, because the delays are a big part of this message. What didn't happen when you wanted it to wasn't denial, it was divine timing recalibrating the situation in your favor. You were spared outcomes you can't yet imagine, conversations that would have hurt you, paths that would have led to burnout or betrayal. And even now, as you listen, protection is still active. If you felt guided to rest more, to pull back, to observe instead of act, that's intentional. You're being repositioned. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now, you don't need to force anything in this season. What's meant for you is already moving. Your only responsibility is to stay open without reopening doors that were closed for your safety. And here's the part that might surprise you, the universe is watching how you honor what was removed. If you chase it, you delay alignment. If you romanticize it, you distort the lesson. But if you bless it and release it, you accelerate what's coming. Don't scroll, because this is a turning point. The moment you stop asking, why did this leave, and start asking, what is this preparing me for? Everything shifts. Your energy sharpens. Your boundaries strengthen. Your self-trust deepens. And suddenly, you start attracting differently. Conversations feel richer, opportunities feel lighter, connections feel safer. Listen to this. This message is for you. The version of you that's emerging now doesn't beg for clarity, because they are clarity. They don't chase validation, because they know who they are. And that's exactly who your future soulmate, your aligned partner, your next chapter recognizes instantly. Don't scroll, because you're closer than you think. The reason this feels intense is because the transformation is almost complete. You're shedding an old identity, one built around proving, enduring, and hoping, and stepping into one built around choosing, receiving, and trusting. And when the next door opens, and it will, you'll walk through it without fear, without doubt, without looking back, because you'll finally understand that what was quietly removed wasn't taken from you, it was making room for everything you've been asking for. And this is not the end of the message. This is only part 2. ## something was quietly removed from your life. Part 3, Archangel Michael reveals what comes next. Don't scroll. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you're here for part 3, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now in a way you can't fully explain yet. Something is happening beneath the surface of your life, and it didn't start today. It started the moment you stopped fighting the removal and began sitting with the silence it left behind. That silence wasn't empty, it was instructional. It slowed you down so you could finally hear yourself again, hear the truth you kept muting, hear the guidance that was always there but drowned out by noise, attachment, and hoping things would change instead of accepting that they already had. Listen to this. This message is for you. When something is removed quietly, it's because the next phase requires discernment, not desperation. You are being trained, gently but firmly, to recognize alignment without needing chaos as proof. That's why your reactions have changed. Things that once triggered you don't hit the same. People who once had access to your emotions now feel distant. Situations that used to excite you suddenly feel hollow. Don't scroll, because this is the shift, this is the moment your soul steps into authority. You're no longer here to convince, chase, or overextend. You're here to choose. And that choice is magnetic. You may feel like you're standing still, but spiritually, you're moving faster than ever. Behind the scenes, timelines are rearranging. Conversations you haven't had yet are being prepared. Meetings that will change your life are being delayed until you're ready to receive them without self-doubt. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. The universe doesn't rush what it protects. That's why everything feels intentional now. The pauses, the redirections, the sudden clarity followed by moments of uncertainty. Those moments aren't setbacks, they're checkpoints. Each one is asking you, do you trust yourself yet? Don't scroll, because here's where it gets real. The reason what was removed had to leave quietly is because it was tied to an old version of you that survived by tolerating less than they deserved. And that version can't walk with you anymore. You are crossing a threshold into a season where your intuition is law, where your body reacts before your mind rationalizes, where your spirit no longer negotiates with discomfort just to keep the peace. And yes, that kind of growth feels lonely at first. It can feel like you're being misunderstood, like you don't fit where you once belonged, like you're in between identities. But listen to this, this message is for you. That in-between space is sacred. It's where the old self dissolves and the new one stabilizes. If you've been seeing angel numbers more intensely lately, 1111 when you think about love, 333 when you question your purpose, 444 when you feel tired but keep going, that's reassurance. It's a hand on your back saying, keep going. You're aligned. Don't scroll, because this next part matters. Your soulmate energy is getting closer, but not in the way you expect. It's not rushing in to save you. It's not arriving to complete you. It's aligning with you because you are finally whole enough to meet them without losing yourself. This connection doesn't come with confusion. It doesn't make you question your worth. It feels calm, steady, and familiar, like recognition rather than pursuit. And the reason you haven't seen it fully yet is because you're still integrating the lesson of the removal. Learning how to let things end without chasing closure, how to sit with discomfort without abandoning yourself, how to trust quiet guidance over loud promises. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. The universe is watching how you respond to peace. Not how you survive pain, you've already mastered that, but how you allow ease, safety, and mutual effort. That's the test now. Don't scroll, because many people fail this part. They go back to what's familiar because peace feels boring when you've been conditioned to chaos. But you didn't come this far to repeat the cycle. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle inner knowing that says, I can't go back. That's not pride. That's growth. And the emotional waves you've been feeling lately, sudden gratitude, random sadness, moments of deep calm followed by tears, those are signs of integration. Your system is recalibrating to a higher standard of love, connection, and self-respect. Listen to this, this message is for you. You are no longer available for what drains you, delays you, or dims you. That's why certain doors will not reopen no matter how much you knock. Not because you're being denied, but because you're being directed. And the next chapter will require you to walk forward without dragging the past behind you. Don't scroll, because this is the confirmation you've been waiting for. The quiet season is almost over. Movement is coming. Communication is coming. A shift in your relationships, your purpose, your sense of belonging is already in motion. It may start subtly, a conversation, an invitation, a realization, but it will grow quickly once it begins. And when it does, you'll look back at what was removed and finally understand that it wasn't a punishment, it wasn't a mistake, and it wasn't the end. It was protection. It was preparation. It was alignment. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. You are not late, you are not forgotten, and you are not alone in this transition. You are being guided step by step, even when you can't see the whole path yet. And if you're still listening, still breathing with these words, still feeling that quiet certainty settling in your chest, that's your sign. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And what comes next will not require you to beg, chase, or prove anything. It will recognize you the same way you're finally recognizing yourself. This is not the end of the message. This is the moment before everything changes. Learning how to let things end without chasing closure, how to sit with discomfort without abandoning yourself, how to trust quiet guidance over loud promises. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. The universe is watching how you respond to peace. Not how you survive pain, you've already mastered that, but how you allow ease, safety, and mutual effort. That's the test now. Don't scroll, because many people fail this part. They go back to what's familiar because peace feels boring when you've been conditioned to chaos. But you didn't come this far to repeat the cycle. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle inner knowing that says, I can't go back. That's not pride. That's growth. And the emotional waves you've been feeling lately, sudden gratitude, random sadness, moments of deep calm followed by tears, those are signs of integration. Your system is recalibrating to a higher standard of love, connection, and self-respect. Listen to this, this message is for you. You are no longer available for what drains you, delays you, or dims you. That's why certain doors will not reopen no matter how much you knock. Not because you're being denied, but because you're being directed. And the next chapter will require you to walk forward without dragging the past behind you. Don't scroll, because this is the confirmation you've been waiting for. The quiet season is almost over. Something was quietly removed from your life. Part 4. Archangel Michael confirms the turning point. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you've made it to part 4, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now more than you know, because you're standing at a turning point that most people never reach consciously. What was quietly removed didn't just change your past. It rewired your future, and the reason this feels intense now is because the last layer of the old chapter is dissolving. You may feel restless, like something is about to happen but hasn't yet, like you're being held in place for just a moment longer, and listen to this message is for you. That pause is sacred. It's the final calibration before movement. The universe does this when alignment is close. It slows everything down so you don't rush back into what you've already outgrown. Don't scroll, stay with me, because here's the truth most people miss. When protection has been active for a long time, your spirit starts to recognize peace as normal instead of chaos, and that shift alone changes what you attract. You may notice you're less reactive now, less willing to explain yourself, less tempted to chase clarity from people who never gave it freely. That's not you becoming cold, that's you becoming clear. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. Clarity is power, and power doesn't announce itself loudly. It moves quietly, decisively, and without regret. And that's exactly how this next chapter will unfold. You're not meant to fight for access anymore. You're meant to be chosen without convincing. And if you're wondering why certain people faded instead of confronting you, why conversations never happened, why apologies never came, don't scroll, because this is important. It's because those interactions would have pulled you back into an emotional frequency you're no longer available for. Closure doesn't always come as a conversation, sometimes it comes as emotional neutrality, where the memory no longer controls your nervous system. And if you've noticed that happening, that certain names don't hit the same, that certain memories feel distant instead of painful, that's confirmation. You've crossed a threshold. Listen to this message is for you. Once you cross it, you can't go back, even if you tried. That's why you may feel slightly detached lately, like you're observing life instead of being pulled under by it. That detachment isn't numbness, it's integration. Your system is stabilizing at a higher emotional baseline. Don't scroll, because the universe is responding to that stability by preparing movement. Opportunities that were blocked are beginning to loosen. People who align with your future, not your past, are being nudged closer. And the soulmate energy you've been sensing, yes, that one, is no longer theoretical. It's practical now. It's entering your physical timeline. But here's the part your heart needs to hear right now: this connection arrives differently than before. It doesn't trigger your anxiety. It doesn't activate your wounds. It doesn't make you question where you stand. It feels calm, mutual, and oddly familiar, like recognition rather than pursuit. And the reason you had to go through the removal first is because this level of connection requires emotional honesty and self-respect you didn't fully embody before. Don't scroll, because this is where destiny tightens its focus. The universe has been watching not just what you desire, but how you've learned to sit with yourself in the absence of it. Have you noticed that you don't distract yourself as much anymore? That you can be alone without feeling lonely every second? That you've started choosing rest over over-explaining? Those are signs of readiness. Listen to this: your heart needs this right now. Readiness isn't about perfection, it's about self-trust. And you have it now. That's why angel numbers may be appearing more intensely again. 111 when you think about new beginnings, 6 hours 66 minutes when you're learning balance, 88 when abundance crosses your mind. Those aren't random, they're confirmations that alignment is active and momentum is building. Don't scroll, because the next shift will feel subtle at first. It may look like a small decision, a casual conversation, an unexpected invitation, or a sudden clarity that changes how you see someone or something. But that small moment will be a hinge, everything will swing from it. And when it does, you'll realize the quiet season was never about waiting. It was about becoming. Becoming someone who doesn't beg for love, doesn't negotiate boundaries, doesn't ignore intuition just to keep peace. Listen to this. This message is for you. You are no longer in survival mode. You are in selection mode. And selection changes everything. It means you choose what enters your life. It means not every opportunity is meant for you, even if it looks good on the surface. It means you trust the calm yes over the exciting maybe. Don't scroll, because this is the final confirmation for this chapter. The universe didn't remove something from your life to leave you empty. It removed it to restore your authority. To remind you that your intuition is not optional guidance, it's a compass. And from this point forward, the path opens only when you honor it. If you felt a quiet confidence settling into your chest lately, a sense of, I'll be okay no matter what, that's not optimism, that's alignment. And alignment attracts effortlessly. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. The next chapter will not feel like struggle. It will feel like recognition. And when it begins, you won't need signs to convince you, the peace will be the sign. Stay open. Stay grounded. Don't rush ahead. This isn't the end. This is the moment everything finally lines up. ## something was quietly removed from your life. Part 5, Archangel Michael reveals the final test. Don't scroll. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you're here for Part 5, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now at a depth you may not have words for yet, because this is the phase where everything becomes real. What was quietly removed didn't just clear your path, it exposed your patterns, your reflexes, the ways you learned to survive when clarity wasn't available, and now the universe is watching how you move without the weight you used to carry. Listen to this message is for you. This stage is not about receiving yet, it's about mastery. You're being shown who you are when you're no longer chasing, fixing, or proving. And that can feel unsettling, because for so long your identity was tied to effort, to holding things together, to hoping, to waiting, to enduring. But don't scroll, stay with me, because this is where most people try to go backward. When peace starts to feel unfamiliar, when nothing is pulling you apart anymore, the mind looks for noise to recreate what it knows. But listen to this, your heart needs this right now. Familiarity is not truth. Calm doesn't mean nothing is happening, it means something is finally working. You may notice subtle temptations returning, thoughts about the past, curiosity about reopening doors, wondering if you imagined the reasons things ended, and that's not failure, that's the final test. The universe is asking, will you trust what you felt when protection stepped in, or will you doubt yourself now that the storm has passed? Don't scroll, because your answer matters. The reason the removal happened quietly is because the lesson wasn't meant to traumatize you, it was meant to strengthen your discernment. And discernment is only proven when you're calm, not when you're desperate. You might feel moments of boredom, moments where life feels too still, and you'll be tempted to label that as stagnation, but listen to this message is for you. Stillness is stability, and stability is the foundation for everything that lasts. If you've been feeling an urge to declutter your space, your phone, your schedule, your relationships, that's not random. Your external world is catching up to your internal clarity. Don't scroll, because here's the truth that will anchor you. What's meant for you now requires space, not struggle. And space only exists when you stop refilling it with what you've already outgrown. You're learning how to let silence exist without rushing to explain it, how to let connections develop without forcing momentum, how to let yourself be seen without performing. That's new territory. And new territory always feels exposed before it feels empowering. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. Vulnerability without desperation is strength. You're stepping into a season where your presence is enough, where you don't have to overgive to be valued, where love doesn't come with conditions disguised as effort. And yes, the soulmate energy you've been sensing is now close enough to test your boundaries. This is important, don't scroll. Before the aligned connection fully enters, the universe often sends echoes of the past, not to pull you back, but to see if you'll choose differently. Similar dynamics, familiar emotional hooks, people who look right on the surface but feel slightly off underneath. This is discernment in motion. And the way your body responds, tightness, hesitation, fatigue, that's guidance. Listen to this message is for you. You no longer need dramatic signs to know when something isn't aligned. Your nervous system is now the signal. If it costs you peace, it costs too much. And here's where destiny sharpens its focus. The moment you say no without guilt, the moment you walk away without explaining, the moment you choose rest over reaction, timelines shift instantly. You don't see it yet, but doors you couldn't access before unlock quietly when you honor yourself. That's why the universe has been emphasizing trust lately. Trusting your timing. Trusting your pace. Trusting that you don't need to rush into the next chapter to prove that the last one mattered. Don't scroll, because this part is vital. You are being prepared to receive without sabotaging. Many people manifest what they want, but lose it because they don't know how to hold it calmly. You're learning how to receive without fear, how to let good things arrive without waiting for the catch. That's advanced spiritual work, even if it doesn't look dramatic on the outside. And if you've noticed angel numbers appearing again, not urgently, but gently, that's reassurance. A nod. A quiet yes. You're aligned. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. The final test isn't whether you can survive without what left, it's whether you can thrive without needing it. You're learning how to let silence exist without rushing to explain it, how to let connections develop without forcing momentum, how to let yourself be seen without performing. That's new territory. And new territory always feels exposed before it feels empowering. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. Vulnerability without desperation is strength. You're stepping into a season where your presence is enough, where you don't have to overgive to be valued, where love doesn't come with conditions disguised as effort. And yes, the soulmate energy you've been sensing is now close enough to test your boundaries. This is important, don't scroll. Before the aligned connection fully enters, the universe often sends echoes of the past, not to pull you back, but to see if you'll choose differently. Similar dynamics, familiar emotional hooks, people who look right on the surface but feel slightly off underneath. This is discernment in motion. And the way your body responds, tightness, hesitation, fatigue, that's guidance. Listen to this message is for you. You no longer need dramatic signs to know when something isn't aligned. Your nervous system is now the signal. If it costs you peace, it costs too much. And here's where destiny sharpens its focus. The moment you say no without guilt, the moment you walk away without explaining, the moment you choose rest over reaction, timelines shift instantly. You don't see it yet, but doors you couldn't access before unlock quietly when you honor yourself. That's why the universe has been emphasizing trust lately. Trusting your timing. Trusting your pace. Trusting that you don't need to rush into the next chapter to prove that the last one mattered. Don't scroll, because this part is vital. You are being prepared to receive without sabotaging. Many people manifest what they want, but lose it because they don't know how to hold it calmly. You're learning how to receive without fear, how to let good things arrive without waiting for the catch. That's advanced whether you can let joy exist without justification. Whether you can let love approach you without armor. And you're closer than you think. The emotional steadiness you've been building, the boundaries you've honored, the self-respect you didn't have to announce, all of that is magnetic. That's why movement is about to accelerate. When the next connection, opportunity, or chapter enters, it won't come with confusion. It will feel simple. Obvious. Almost anticlimactic at first. And that's how you'll know it's real. Don't scroll, because this is the truth you've been waiting for. The universe didn't remove something from your life to see if you'd suffer without it. It removed it to see if you'd finally choose yourself. And you did. Even on the days you doubted, even when you missed what was familiar, you didn't abandon your inner knowing. That choice rewrote your future. From here on, things don't get louder, they get clearer. And clarity attracts effortlessly. Listen to this message is for you. You are no longer preparing for alignment. You are living inside it. What comes next won't need to convince you. It will meet you where you stand, honor who you've become, and grow with you instead of asking you to shrink. Stay open. Stay grounded. Trust the quiet. This chapter isn't ending, it's stabilizing. And that stability is exactly what makes the next miracle possible. Something was quietly removed from your life. Final message, Archangel Michael seals the destiny. Don't scroll. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you've made it to the very end, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now more than ever, because this is the moment where everything finally comes together. What was quietly removed from your life wasn't the end of a story, it was the moment the story finally became yours. And you didn't get here by accident. You didn't stumble into this message. You followed an inner pull, a feeling you couldn't explain, a knowing that told you to stay just a little longer, to listen just a little deeper. Listen to this message is for you. The universe has been watching you closely, not judging you, not testing you harshly, but guiding you patiently, step by step, through endings that didn't make sense at the time and delays that felt unfair when you were in them. And now, here you are, calmer, clearer, stronger in ways you didn't even notice forming. Don't scroll, because this is the confirmation your soul has been waiting for. The reason the removal happened quietly is because it was never meant to define you by pain, it was meant to free you without breaking you. You didn't need another dramatic ending, another emotional battle, another moment where you had to fight to be chosen. You needed peace. You needed space. You needed truth without noise. And that's exactly what you were given, even if it didn't look like a gift at first. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. The confusion you felt afterward wasn't emptiness, it was expansion. Your life was stretching to make room for what could finally meet you at your level. That's why everything slowed down. That's why you felt suspended between what was and what wasn't here yet. You were being repositioned, not paused. Don't scroll, because here's the part that changes how you see everything. Nothing that is truly meant for you will ever need to be chased, forced, or begged for. What is aligned recognizes you the moment it arrives. And the reason you couldn't move forward sooner is because you were still learning how to sit with yourself without shrinking, how to trust your intuition without needing external validation, how to feel peace without fearing it would be taken away. And you did that. Quietly. Bravely. Without applause. Listen to this, this message is for you. The universe values who you became in silence more than what you endured in noise. That's why the next chapter doesn't come with warning signs or red flags disguised as excitement. It comes with steadiness. Familiarity. A sense of, I don't have to prove anything here. And yes, this includes love. This includes the soulmate-level connection you felt approaching for a while now, the one that didn't rush in while you were healing, the one that respected your timing even before you met. This love doesn't complete you, it meets you. It doesn't trigger your wounds, it honors your boundaries. It doesn't confuse you, it chooses you clearly. And listen to this, your heart needs this right now. You are ready for it because you no longer confuse intensity with depth or effort with devotion. You learned that lesson through what was removed. Don't scroll, because this is the moment destiny settles in. From here forward, life doesn't suddenly become perfect, but it becomes honest. Your choices feel lighter. Your reactions feel calmer. Your standards feel natural instead of defensive. And the signs you once begged for, the angel numbers, the synchronicities, the confirmations. They don't disappear, they soften, because you don't need them as loudly anymore. You know. You trust. You move with intention instead of urgency. That's alignment. And alignment attracts without force. If you've been feeling a quiet confidence lately, a sense that no matter what happens you'll be okay, that's not false hope, that's spiritual grounding. It's the moment you stop fearing loss because you know you can rebuild, you can choose again, you can walk away if something doesn't honor you. Listen to this, this message is for you. That inner safety is what makes miracles sustainable. And here's the final truth, the one your soul already knows. What was quietly removed from your life didn't leave you behind, it moved you forward. It cleared your vision. It sharpened your intuition. It returned your authority to you. And because of that, the next season won't test your worth. It will reflect it. Don't scroll, because this is where the message seals itself. You didn't survive all of this just to repeat old cycles. You didn't awaken just to go back to sleep. You didn't learn to trust yourself just to hand that power away again. This chapter closes not with loss, but with certainty. And if you feel emotional right now, if your chest feels heavy but peaceful, if your eyes are burning with tears you can't explain, that's release. That's recognition. That's your spirit saying, I understand now. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now, you are protected, you are guided, and you are exactly where you're meant to be. What's coming next will meet you gently, honor you fully, and grow with you honestly. And if this message reached you all the way to the end, don't ignore that. That's your sign. Before you leave, take one breath, place a hand on your heart, and silently say, I trust what's unfolding. Then, if this spoke to you, like this, save it, and comment, I receive, not for me, but as a declaration to yourself. This wasn't just a video. This was a moment of alignment. And this is the beginning of the life you no longer have to fight for.